Welcome to Current Electrifying News, Episode 6. So, first up today is over the weekend just gone in Sydney, there was the Electrify Everything Expo, or Fully Charged Live Show, whatever you want to call it. And I went, and I've got to tell you, it was twice the size of last year and really, really good. A lot of stalls there. If you want to test drive a car, go next year, because they had 50 odd cars at least, ranging from even the brand new Renault Megane E, which was unveiled on Friday morning, and I've already put a quick video up about that. They had the Kia EV9 was being test driven. Kia wasn't there, but the EV9 was there being test driven, and I test drove it. Video to come. They had the Hyundai N, which was available for test drive. Guess who got to test drive? They had another French car company, apart from Renault, Peugeot. They had their E2008, which was there. That's been out for a little while. And another bit of news coming up in a minute about Peugeot. But all up, it was excellent. And I really do think that if you can, and I did come across a couple of West Australians who were over there, who actually, one guy I met went there just for that purpose. Yeah, well done. I think, if you live in Sydney, it's something that you should go to. But there was a lot of different car manufacturers. There was BYD, Aura. I got to test drive the Aura Cat. Now, I took out the base model. Review coming, but here's a quick one. Bloody hell, it's a nice car. Yeah, as I said, BYD were there. Polestar with their Polestar 2 and 3. They were there. They were there last year as well. Got to say, they look really specky cars. I didn't actually get to take one of those for a test drive. There were electric motorbikes from Savage, Fonz, Zero. They were all there. So, if you're interested in anything electric like that, vehicle-wise, you go. There was a heap of other things to do with heat pumps, a tiny solar house. They're really good. I've got an interview coming for that. Yeah, and then there's all the theatres, Giga Theatre, Mega Theatre, and so on, where they have talks and panel discussions. Some of those are really very, very good. The number of people there, I think, was definitely up on last year. I've got a feeling they only had 14 or 15,000 last year. I think they were hoping for about 30,000 this year. And I know at 10 o'clock when they opened the doors, the queue was right out and around the corner. So it was pretty well attended, but I haven't had any figures. So in my opinion, next year, be there or be square. Shell doesn't really do much in the EV line and powers, unlike Amp Charge, BP Pulse and so on. They were more into hydrogen. Well, they've seen the light. They're closing all 7 of their California hydrogen pumping stations, and they're doing it immediately. They just could not operate these light-duty hydrogen stations in the US. Now, quite honestly, hydrogen for small cars like the Mirai and so on is a complete waste of flipping time and money. It really is. It may have something to do in the really large transport arena, but not for small cars. If you think about it, you're going to take electricity, which you've hopefully got from the sun or the wind, and you're going to make hydrogen from electrolyzing water, doing something with methane. You're still going to make carbon dioxide from that. And then you're going to take that hydrogen, you're going to compress it into a high pressure cylinder, stick it in your vehicle and hope it doesn't explode, because hydrogen has got a way of leaking out and making the insides of these containers a bit brittle. So I'm not going to be keen on having a hydrogen tank in my car. Yeah, it just makes no bloody sense at all. So not only have you got to go through all that palaver to make hydrogen, then you use the oxygen to make water. You've got it from water originally to make electricity to power your thing. Sorry, you've got electricity, just stick it into the car. It makes so much more sense. Petrol, diesel, it's about 18% efficient from well to burning it. Hydrogen, it's a bit better. It's about 30 to 35% efficient. Woo! Electricity, it's about 87 to 90%. So just cut out the middleman, tell hydrogen to bugger off, which is basically what Shell has done. And I really think, hopefully, it's seen the light, and more people need to see the light. Now, as I said, at Everything Electric Expo, Renault unveiled the Megane EV and the Kangoo EV. Very nice they are too. The Megane E, it's a CUV, so it's a compact utility vehicle. Once again, it's got a price around the 60,000 mark. Yeah, I'd like to see cheaper cars coming in. And Peugeot were there. They've got the E2008 and the E-Partner, which is like the Kangoo. It's a small delivery van. The E2008, once again, it's 60,000 plus on-road costs. So not a huge price advantage over any competition. But it has just been announced that Peugeot has got their all-electric E308, E308 and their E-Expert medium-sized van. They're going to commence from the second half of 2024, and I believe that the order books are already open. Tesla have announced that the Model Y refresh won't be launching, certainly in North America, in 2024. Yeah. There's been a bit of talk about it coming out later this year, but Tesla have said, no, not coming out. Now, I've got a feeling this has got something to do with what's called the Osborne effect. So, there's been a few odd rumours going around that they've refreshed the Model 3, they're going to refresh the Model Y. Now, Model Ys that are coming out of China now have got hardware 4, so it was sort of implicated a little bit. But, I don't think it's going to happen, well, at least according to Tesla. All of a sudden, what they'll suddenly do is go, oh, all these new Model Ys, they're refresh versions. We'll wait and see. Renewables are really coming along. Now, in the December quarter, so October, November, December, I believe South Australia was over 80% powered by renewables, which is a tremendous effort. January kicked off 2024 with some more solar records, including an all-time high for utility solar generation. Now that was set in New South Wales, something like 778 gigawatt hours. Queensland, 648 gigawatt hours. That's pretty damn good. So New South Wales were having a pretty damn good year. Wind was generating a lot of power, and even Western Australia led the best performing wind assets, with the top 5 assets located in Western Australia, which is where I am. So that's great news. Now, combining both solar and wind power, it made up a huge portion. Now, if we can just keep this going at this sort of rate, we're going to hit that 2030 target of renewable energy and cutting down on greenhouse gas emissions. And we really do need to be doing something about it. Now, if you watch when it comes out in the next few days, my interview with Dan Caesar, CEO of Renault, Fully Charged Limited, that's right. He's started up something called Stop Burning Stuff, which is basically trying to bust the fear, uncertainty, doubt rumours that go around. When something hits the news, it was an electric vehicle fire. No, it wasn't. So he's trying to counter that. Now, I've always maintained we should stop burning shit. Fairly close to what Dan Caesar says, and I talk about that in the interview with him. Apparently, and I was told this at the Fully Charged live show in Sydney, or Everything Electric Expo in Sydney, that the target, which we want to keep under, of 1.5 degrees, we've already just hit it this last week. So, things are going from bad to worse. This last year was the hottest year on record. Now, there's a place in WA, a few hundred kilometres north of Perth, about 400 kilometres. A couple of weeks ago was the hottest place in the world, with 48 degrees centigrade recorded there. That's a cooking, baby. And even here in Perth, for a few days while I was over in Sydney, it was hitting 41 degrees centigrade for a few days. And it really hadn't cooled down too much from the previous weekend, where it was also 40 something degrees. Things are cooking, and we really need to act. And I don't think our politicians are really acting fast enough. They all stand there and go, oh, look what we've done. We've got these fuel emission standards. Isn't it wonderful? No, it's absolute shit, because they've put up 3 options. We know that they want to go with B. Now, B leaves the status quo for a year or two. I mean, look what we're doing. We're helping the world overheat. No, they're not. If you really wanted to help, you'd start hitting it a bit harder. Chris Bowen, darling, do something a bit more positive about it, will you? Now, finally, just a few hours ago, there was that something in America called the Super Bowl. Yeah. And at half time, they have a show, which is usually great, but they also have ads. Now, an ad there costs about $7 million US for a minute ad. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, there were some electric vehicles that were advertised. Now, BMW advertised one of their electric vehicles, and they used Christopher Walken, great actor. So, yeah, all right. Kia advertised their EV9, which, as I said, I've taken for a test drive. Not bad. So they were advertising. And, of course, Toyota were advertising their petrol-y type cars. VW advertised. Now, they were sort of advertising the old Beetle, but it went into the ID Buzz. So at least they're sort of trying to promote a few electric vehicles. And the one thing that really just peed me off was Dan O'Dowd from the Dawn Project. He was trying to run ads saying Tesla kills people. It's full self-driving is shit. Dan O'Dowd uses his company to make software for the competitors. So he's very biased, and he uses very old data. When you look at full self-driving now, if you go and watch the videos on YouTube of full self-driving in America now, it drives better than humans. So, yeah, he just gets my goat up. So the least said about him, the better. So there we have it. I hope you found that interesting. As I said, I've had to put this together fairly quickly, coming back from Sydney literally late last night. I got in, and then I'm off tomorrow. So what I'm planning on doing while I'm away for 3 weeks is I'll be editing a lot of those videos that I took at the Everything Electric Expo. I've got some interviews, as I've said. I've got Dan Caesar, Rosie Barnes from Engineering with Rosie, brilliant girl. I've got somebody who does EV kit solutions. There's a new EV insurance player in the market, so look out for that one. It could be interesting. And the tiny solar house people I interviewed. And then I did a few test drives, the Aura Cat, the EV9, the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Now, I might not be able to put that up yet because they still want an embargo on it, and I'm trying to get confirmation whether it's actually an embargo, because other people have been putting up videos on it. Ugh. Anyway, there's lots more to come, and I will also keep going with my current electrifying news episodes. As I said originally, I'm planning to try to get these out twice a week or 3 times a fortnight. So hopefully I'll keep going with that, but it will be a minimum of once a week, that's for sure. All right, so thanks very much for watching. I hope that was interesting. And I know somebody has commented about my headrest on my chair. Well, I tried the last one on a different chair and it was too uncomfortable. So you're going to have to put up with my little wings. But if you could do me a big favour, pretty please, and that is click that like and subscribe button below. You just don't know how much it can actually help promote the channel. Making a comment, nice one of course, also helps. And then in the description below there are links to Patreon, Ko-fi, my Tesla referral, stake for those that want to get some investments going. If you use all those referrals, that will be really good. And I'll be seeing you all very soon.